I'm going to take you through the process of applying to a TEDx with an application that's actually live right now. I'm going to pull back the curtain on what organizers are looking for and help you apply to a TEDx today. Hello, friends. I'm Tricia Brouk, the executive producer of Speakers Who Dare, curator of the Speaker Salon, and founder of the Big Talk Academy. I can also share with you exactly what organizers are looking for because I'm the former executive producer of TEDx Lincoln Square. And if you stick around until the end, you are going to get clarity on your idea worth spreading and be able to apply to an actual TEDx today. The most important thing that you are going to learn today is the difference between an idea and an issue. TED Talks are ideas worth spreading, not issues worth spreading. An idea is a thought or a concept, a notion that we have, and once we form this thought, it can become an idea with gentle hands-on massaging. And I always talk about massaging the idea, massaging the talk. We want to allow this idea to have space so that we tend to it and we allow it to become the idea worth spreading. An idea is a thought or a concept. Remember, a thought or a concept. Now, if you think about issues are usually an emotional or a personal problem. And it makes you feel crunchy, makes you feel eggy. It feels hopeless and like it's overwhelming, that there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to give you 3 topics that are issues, and I want you to think about how your body responds to them. These are very important topics, but they're going to make your body feel a certain way. Teachers in public schools don't get enough financial support. No one can argue with that. Pharmaceutical companies make it difficult for people with Parkinson's disease to get the proper meds in the US. Again, important stuff. Discrimination has to end. These are 3 topics that are very, very important and need to be discussed, and they're also issues. The reason that they're issues is because they make us feel like we can't do anything about it. It's not something we can argue with, but they're so big, we get stopped in our tracks. If we were to reframe these topics from issue to idea, feel what your body does now. Teachers are the GPS of our children's future. Doesn't that make you just want to sign up, read the book, learn more? Teachers are the GPS of our children's future. Now we feel like the world is possible. It's the same topic. Teachers in public schools don't get enough financial support. Yes, teachers are the GPS of our children's future. We feel like there's something we can do to help. We feel like there's something we can add and contribute to humanity. Now, think about this next idea. Pharmaceutical companies make it difficult for people with Parkinson's to get the proper meds in the US. Stuck. Imagine if all scientists followed in the footsteps of Jonas Salk. Jonas Salk gave the polio vaccine to the people. Imagine if all scientists followed in the footsteps of Jonas Salk. Now we have possibility. We have things we can talk about. This is why fully understanding the difference between an idea and an issue is so important. So when you're applying to a TEDx or you're applying to a Speakers Who Dare or any kind of conference and they want you to lead with the idea, make sure you're leading with an idea that wants us to adopt it as our own. By really understanding this difference between idea and issue, it is going to be what serves your application process the absolute most. More than your credits, more than how many books you've written, that you understand clearly the difference between an idea and an issue, it's going to serve you all the way. Now, I want to talk about through line just a little bit as well, because many speakers get stuck when they're thinking about what their talk is about, and then they go off on a tangent. So if you create this through line, this tree trunk, and then your branches from the tree trunk, this through line, this heartbeat, and then the content is from the heartbeat. If you always come back to this heartbeat, you will never go off track. You will never get lost. So let's talk about a through line. It's 15 words or less. Less is more. Here's 3 through lines from famous TED Talks. More choices make us less happy. That's by Barry Schwartz. Vulnerability is something to be treasured, not hidden from. Of course, Queen Brené Brown. And with body language, you can fake it until you become it. Amy Cuddy. These through lines make it clear to us right away what the talk is about and what we're going to expect. Any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. And if you're liking what you're learning, please, please, please share with your friends. We want as many people to have the inside scoop on how to apply to a successful TED as we can. I want to move on to pitching. I have received thousands of applications through TEDx Lincoln Square, Speakers Who Dare, people who want to work with me, and whether it's a show I'm producing. And the reason that pitching is so important is that you have one opportunity to stand out from the crowd on a piece of paper or in an email. And this is your chance to get on an organizer's radar. That way, you're going to set the stage so that you stand out when you actually apply next year or later. So there's 3 things that people do that are the biggest mistake. 3 of the mistakes that people make when they're pitching, whether it's an application, whether it's in a meeting, or whether it's an email. They save the best for last. This is so common. This actually happened this morning with one of my clients. We're currently applying to several TEDx talks, events, and we're putting the synopsis together, and first thing I do is go to the bottom. And I'm like, that needs to be at the top. You want to lead with your important thought. And I see this again and again. It's as if people are working out their thought process, and finally they get to the money shot at the very bottom. They get to the good stuff at the very bottom. So when you're writing your application and your synopsis, write it out, go to the bottom, and grab that last sentence, because I bet if you move that sentence to the top, that will be how you open that synopsis, that summary. So top 3 mistakes when you're pitching. Saving the best for last. Go to the bottom of that paragraph and pull that sentence to the top. I guarantee it will be how you open. Then, here's another mistake people make. They puff themselves up with the books and their credentials. We don't care about that. We care about your idea. I personally care that you're easy to work with and that you're a collaborator and that you're very community driven. And so here's a sentence that I've written out so that you understand what not to do. Instead of leading with, I'm a PhD and have written 3 books on behavior. It's all about you. It's not about the idea. It's not about the audience. Instead, listen to how this sounds. My patients are suffering, and I believe this is something we can prevent by creating a behavior pharmacy. So let's listen to those 2 back to back again. I'm a PhD and I've written 3 books on behavior. So have a million other people, right? Give me insight into who you are as a human being while still having your big idea. And that is, my patients are suffering and I believe this is something we can prevent by creating a behavior pharmacy. See how that makes you feel? And I've talked about this quite a bit today already. The idea versus issue. How does it make you feel? I always say to my speakers, read that. I want to see how it makes us feel. I want to hear how it makes us feel. I don't want to hear how it sounds. I want to hear how it makes us feel. That is so important when you're really, really digging deep and want to stand out in terms of being an application. The third mistake people are making is they lead with the want. They lead with their want. I want to help people see fear is a gift. When you lead with that want, it's all about you. It's what you want. And I know you're coming at it from a heart-centered place, but let's switch it. Instead, fear is a gift that will serve the population and ultimately the world. Now you're giving us a gift. You're giving us an idea to think about. You're not telling us that I want to help people see fear as a gift. I'm sure you do. But if you say it like this, fear is a gift that will serve the population and ultimately the world, I want to know more. And I already believe you're the expert because of how you're saying it. So that's really, really important. All right. Super excited because I am going to analyze a specific TED Talk that is one of my favorites, and I'm going to use my analysis in an application. Now, my friend George Andriopoulos is on right now, and he is the executive producer of TEDx Farmingdale. And I'm going to give you my analysis of what makes a really great application. Okay, one of my favorite TED Talks, and I'm not trying to be funny right now, it is literally one of my favorite TED Talks, is Miriam Sidibe's The Power of Hand Washing. Now, the reason this talk is so powerful is because she literally talks about saving over 600,000 children's lives with a bar of soap. So I wanted to dig into this because it's one of my favorites. It's also very timely. And I wanted to give you my interpretation from her content of how to apply. If she were applying to George's event, this is how I would help her apply. Okay, so George has several things on his application. Idea worth spreading / talk title. He wants the synopsis and why it's a fit for the theme truth. He also tells us to keep in mind that TED Talks are about powerful ideas and that they need to be shared to grow or shift perceptions and to create wonder. The idea is the number one takeaway. The idea is the star. So again, remember, it's not about the speaker, it's about the idea worth spreading. And then the other question is, what qualifies you to speak about the subject? We want to know your credentials around the topic, the university degree or degrees, and direct experience around the subject you would like to share on the stage. Now, we're a little different in terms of that. I don't look at that stuff. I want to know if you are a collaborator, if you're interested in being in a community. I am going to wait until the very end to find out how much experience you have. And that's just me being in the theater. I always go to special skills first because I'm about to see if you can act or not. So I want to know if you're somebody I want to spend the next 6 months with. That's my first thing. All right, so Miriam Sidibe's talk about the power of hand washing. I analyzed her content on TED website. And when I fill out George's application for her, the idea worth spreading, or the talk title, is The Simple Power of Hand Washing. And that is her actual talk title. There was no need for me to do anything to it. It's perfect. The reason it's perfect is because it's short. It tells us exactly what she's going to talk about without giving it all away. The simple power of hand washing. See how it's like almost lyrical? It's almost a song. Makes us feel excited. It gives us hope. Again, gives us hope. Synopsis. Why is this a fit for the theme truth? Okay, again, I pulled from her content. I didn't write this on my own. It's part of what her talk is about, but I'm teaching you how to frame it for an application. Why is this a fit for the theme truth? Pneumonia is among the top 2 killers of children under 5, and what we can do to prevent these diseases isn't some smart new technological innovation. It's one of the world's oldest inventions, a bar of soap. Washing hands with soap, a habit we all take for granted, can reduce respiratory infections by 1/3. Hand washing with soap can have an impact on reducing flu, trachoma, SARS, and most recently in the case of cholera, the Ebola outbreak, and now COVID-19. It is one of the key interventions that we can use, and it's a bar of soap. Hand washing with soap keeps kids in school. It stops babies from dying, and it's one of the most cost-effective ways of saving children's lives, and now all of our lives. It can save over 600,000 children every single year. It's short, it's a paragraph. It tells us what is important here. It tells us how we're going to do it without giving it all away. She's not listing too many statistics, but she's listing enough statistics so that we know she's an expert and that she's done her homework. It also doesn't go on and on and on, and it is a clear through line. Really important that you understand George is asking for a synopsis. He's not asking for a mini talk, right? That's a mistake I see lots of speakers make. They insert mini talks into the application process. If you can create a synopsis that is succinct, hits all the points, which is a hook, tell us how you're gonna solve or how you're gonna inspire, and some stats so that we know you've done your homework, then we trust that you're gonna be able to write a fully realized talk. All right, the next question that George has on his application: what qualifies you to speak about this subject? Here's what I wrote for Miriam Sidibe if I were applying for her. I'm a public health expert and a warrior in the fight against childhood disease. My weapon of choice is a bar of soap. What that does is it tells the organizer that you are an expert without listing a bunch of credentials or puffing yourself up like I shared earlier. I'm a public health expert, and she shows us that she's cheeky. She's got some fight in her as well, and a warrior in the fight against childhood disease. And my weapon of choice is a bar of soap. That is why people stand out. Many applications are looking for clues. And one of them is if you can follow directions. Because like I said, we are going to be spending 6 to 9 months with you. We want to know that you're going to be easy to work with. And if you can follow directions, that is something we need to know. All of these things are what we look for in applications. And I'm really excited for you all to hopefully take into practice what I've shared with you today in terms of the difference between an idea and an issue and how to pitch. Something else that's really important is I always talk about courting or really becoming a supporter of organizers and conference organizers. That doesn't mean emailing them directly and asking them if they received your application. That does not mean emailing them directly and asking them any questions. It means following them on social media and authentically supporting what it is they're up to. George has an incredible Launchcast, a credible podcast, incredible content. It's easy to support someone who's putting such amazing content out there. So follow him on LinkedIn. Support what he's doing. Do not get needy. Do not start asking for things. Support. And that will also be a way for you to stay on our radar. Here's the thing, everybody. Not everybody's buying what you're selling, right? It doesn't matter. If you're clear and deliberate and completely yourself on that application, it will be so much better than you trying to be who you think the organizer wants you to be. Because here's the thing, you can't maintain that. So it's really, really important that you apply as yourself with an idea worth spreading, and you understand that you are being truthful and honest, because second round you'll be found out. So it's really important that you be clear with who you are, and if you're chosen, great, and if you're not, there's a lot of other TEDx opportunities out there. What we do know that's most important right now is that speaking isn't going anywhere, and that using your voice is everything. Using your voice is laying the groundwork for when we move back into flow past this global pandemic. And supporting my community is super important to me, which is why I'm here today. And it's also why I've decided to open up the Big Talk membership community. This is a one-time special opportunity. I usually open it once a year, and I was planning to do it in November. But it's really important for us to come together and have support and be supported, because our voices matter more now than ever. You can join me and the other incredible speakers and receive access to a resource library that I designed specifically to support Speaker Platform. You're also going to get a group call with me once a month, and it's an incredibly engaged private Facebook group. One of the most beautiful groups I've ever seen come together. To take advantage of this special opportunity, which is $47 a month, no commitment, you can leave anytime with 30 days, go to triciabrouk.com/membership. I really hope that everyone's okay and safe and well, and that you're using your voice to support and serve in whatever capacity that is. This is really, really an important time for us to speak, and to speak with empathy, with gratitude, to build relationships, and to innovate. I want to give you all an opportunity to join the Big Talk membership community. This special opportunity is lasting until Saturday, triciabrouk.com/membership. Leave your comments, share with friends who might find this valuable. It's my mission to support as many speakers as possible, and by pulling the curtain back on what organizers are looking for, and by introducing you to organizers, it's my hope that your beautiful ideas worth spreading have the reach they need to. I hope that you will start sharing your powerful story today, and be sure to subscribe and click on that notification bell so that you get access to my newest and latest videos. And I really appreciate that you are here and will always respond to the comments. Big love.